Hello, School District of Indian River County. This is your Superintendent, Dr. Moore, with another Get More Connected. And the focus of our today's conversation today is to provide you with an update regarding our academic outcomes over the course of the last 4 years, as well as how we have been fiscally responsible in using the dollars that we are provided in order to ensure that we're providing quality education in environments that are safe and students can come in and focus in on that quality instruction that we're providing. So let's jump right into it. And we'll begin this conversation looking at where we are as a community. So you look at the screen here, you'll see this is a reflection of our school district of Indian River County, a nice balanced percent of students, currently 17,000 students in our school system over the course of 27 schools. We have maximized school choice in our district. That was a move that we made 4 years ago. So all schools are an option for our students in our community. We have an annual budget of $386 million, and we've been able to increase the average teacher salary to $59,600, which has been significant improvement over the course of the last 4 years. So this is who we are today as a school system. If you were to go back and look at this slide 4 years ago, you would see significant changes in terms of demographics, in terms of teacher salary, significant changes over the last 4 years. A lot has happened over the course of the last 4 years. When you go back and you look at 18-19, we always compare ourselves to 18-19 because that is the last full year before the pandemic in which we had a full academic assessment of the district. And what you see on the screen here is like counties as well as some other counties. When you look at Charlotte County and Martin County, you'll notice a significant difference between us, who is in the middle, in terms of the percent of A and B schools in comparison to Indian River County. That's not what we deserve as a community. We need to be the absolute best, not only on the Treasure Coast, but across the state of Florida. But this was the reality in 18-19. The overwhelming percent of our schools, highest percent, was C schools. That is unlike every other district that's on this screen. In fact, when you look at the overall state ranking in Indian River County in the year 18-19, we were 38 of 67. I've been living here for over 4.5 years now, and when I think of Indian River County, we're not 38 of 67 in any category. This was information I knew about when applying to become your superintendent, and it was intriguing to look at. It made no sense to me as I visited the community with my wife in order to determine, is this a place, if God willing, we can serve our community. This was something I wanted to really understand and drastically improve. In fact, in coming in, and whether it was interviewing for the position or in the first couple months before the pandemic, it was making promises to our community that we will be a top-performing school system in the state of Florida, that our current reality doesn't have to be our future reality, that we could drastically make changes if we work together to ensure that we are one of the highlighted school districts in the state of Florida. That was the promises that we made. We also, upon arrival, you know the academic reality when you're interviewing for a position, but what you really don't know is where we are financially. The fact of the reality is this school system was on the verge of financial bankruptcy as well as academic bankruptcy. Our fiscal ratings were negative. The conversations with our chief financial officer was we spend about $1.27, $28 for every dollar that we receive. That is a poor way of managing the resources that are provided to a school district to educate its community's children. So there were additional promises made. We need to right-size our systems in order to use every single dollar that we're provided in an absolutely powerful way. We need to hold ourselves accountable for the systems and structures that we create in order to ensure not only that we're maximizing those resources, we're maximizing the opportunities for all students to fill their full potential. That's exactly what we did. We reorganized the district, creating cost savings each and every single year. We hold ourselves accountable for district spending. You will not spend a dollar in this district without it being connected to our district strategic plan, and every individual in the system who has the ability to spend dollars is held accountable to how that dollar is in supporting our district strategic plan and supporting our community's public school system. We created allocation models in order to ensure that positions are being generated based on student enrollment, not on who the principal may be or who is in a particular community, based on the needs of children. And we held true to that particular model. We use the ESSER funds we're in its final year this year, better than any other school district in the state of Florida. Why do I say that? Because our fund balance is 5 percentage points higher than it was in 1920, and we are the most improved school district academically in the state of Florida. Those funds were there to offset the impacts of the pandemic. We are in a better place today academically than we were before the pandemic. Those are using dollars to build a fund balance while at the same time providing additional resources and support to drastically shift the reality of our academic outcomes for our children. We followed very foundational principles for allocating schools. We made informed decisions. We created systems across the entire district in order to ensure finances are aligned to need, and we're distributing those resources based on those needs. We remained focused in on what our primary mission is, which is to educate our community's children and making sure that those allocations are being provided where they are needed, and then being adaptable at the same time. Understanding when you build capacity in one school, that's an investment that you've made in those teachers, and they have those skills and that ability to continue to impact children in future years. And having the ability to shift some resources to other schools who may have new teachers, providing resources where they are needed, with a very clear focus in investing in the human capital, our staff, our principals, our teachers, giving them the skills that they need in order to drastically impact the reality or the future reality of our children. And being responsible with our dollars, creating a long-term plan that is very transparent and open and honest on how we're going to use the resources that are available to us to identify where we're going to pull back resources and where we need to provide additional resources. A very transparent process that allows us to stabilize where we are in terms of our finances. Now, I want to draw a comparison to Martin County. Martin County is the same size school system as we are. We are basically mirror counties. And when you look at the additional burden placed on taxpayers in Indian River County in comparison to Martin County, you're going to see some significant differences. Both counties have a $500,000 taxed to our homeowners at a $500,000. But Martin County, in addition to that, has a 50-cent sales tax placed on the community within Martin County. When you look at the additional funding that's provided to the children, the community in that county in comparison to our county, you'll see we have about $11.2 million. That strictly comes from the one contribution our taxpayers are making from the millage. But in in Martin County, that's $30 million of additional funding. That's almost $19 million additional funding assessed to the community in Martin County that is not assessed here in Indian River County. We have to be responsible for the dollars that we have. We believe that we don't need to increase or ask for more. We need to be held accountable for the dollars that we are so generously already being provided and use those dollars in a very fiscal responsible way, but at the same time, produce an outcome. So when families are looking to move to Florida, they're going to see Indian River County as a true option, because that would be a place in which they would want to educate their children. And people look at the public school system in selecting where to live. So if you are somewhere across the state or the nation and looking at where you're going to choose, whether it be Martin County or Indian River County, you'd look at the school system and you're going to see, well, I'm going to be paying a lot more money for the public school system in Martin County, but they're a B school system. In Indian River County, I'll be paying significantly less, and they're an A school system. And when you look at some of the academic outcomes by area, significantly outpacing Martin County. The simple fact of the reality is we understand the contributions that's being made, and we hold ourselves accountable for using those dollars in a way that's drastically going to inform or help or support our children in improving the quality of their lives. When you look at the additional funding, so going into kind of moving forward, we continue, based on our reality across the nation, everything costs more. Whether it is utilities, insurance, materials, significant increases that are outpacing any additional funding being provided by the state of Florida. And we have only one way to generate funds in our school system, and that is student enrollment. We are fixed in terms of the dollars that we receive, meaning when we have additional costs that are placed upon us, the only way to budget for those costs is to reduce expenditures. We will not have expenditures that exceed the revenue in which we bring in, which once again is a fixed cost. Also transportation. We provide significant transportation dollars to our community in order to get our students to and from school, but yet we don't receive enough funding in order to do that, so we have to offset that. That's just one example. In looking at the funds that we received in the last millage, we made a commitment around increasing safety and security and wellness for our students. And when I say promise made, promise kept, we have made significant advancements. We have counties coming from across the state to look at the things that we have put in place. We've drastically increased security monitors in our school. We have the metal detectors that we just put in at each of our high schools. We've upgraded all of our camera systems. We've embedded a technology called Zero Eyes onto our cameras, which they will as a weapon detection system. We've installed lighting and detectors for heat monitors on our campuses. We are a model when it comes to security in our school systems. We are outpacing pretty much most districts in creating the single point of entries and the vestibules going into our campuses and continuing to upgrade those. So significant progress in that area, upholding the expectation in what we asked for. Still work to do and continuing to build that so we will be not only one of the models, but the stellar example in the state of Florida when it comes to security in our schools. Also looking at ways to recruit and retain and support our teachers. We are in a national crisis, and that crisis is being able to recruit and retain those who stand in front of our children each and every single day, our teachers. And over the last 4 years, and you're looking at the average teacher's salary, significant improvements from 18-19, going from $48,000 to almost $56,000, below the state average in 18-19 to the 7th highest in the state of Florida. We're proud of that, but we want to make a commitment to our teachers to continue that and to continue to grow to be one of the highest, if not the highest, paying average salary system in the state of Florida, because that's what our children deserve. And our teachers are going above and beyond each and every single day. They have transformed the educational experience that they're providing for their students. They're providing rigorous instruction aligned to the state standards, and they have the ability to create individual lessons to pull all students up to those standards and exceed those who can go even further. So we're so proud of what we've been able to provide for our teachers, but we want to continue to grow upon that. We've also asked for additional funding to drastically transform the experience within our classrooms, providing technology for our students. Now we have, over the last 4 years, created a one-to-one initiative. All students in our school system will receive a device and have a device from the time that they walk in and to the time that they graduate. We've drastically changed the experience in the classroom with ViewSonic panels, interactive boards that students can connect to and teachers can engage and bring instruction to life with that technology. We renovated one high school's media center. We're in the process of doing the other, making a space that is warm, welcoming, and has all of the technology that students need. Because the reality is when they walk out of our high schools with their high school diploma in hand. They're going to walk into environments where they're going to be expected to know all of these different kinds of technology and be able to integrate it into their employment, or integrate it into the military, or integrate it into their post-secondary experience. It is an expectation that have that when they enroll or they interview for that position. Because of the contributions we collectively has made for our community, we've been able to right-size our technology both in the hands of our students and in the hands of our teachers, and we're able to continue to grow that in our school system. So when you look at moving forward, we have another millage that will be going to our voters in the upcoming November election. And we need to continue to enhance the support to promote safety, security, wellness for students and staff. The reality is we need to continue to take the additional steps so when every student walks into the school, they feel safe, they feel comfortable, they know they're in a warm, welcoming environment in which they will be accepted, and they can walk into the classroom and solely focus in on the quality instruction that is being provided to their students. We want to be the beacon of hope for all other districts when it comes to safety and security. Our board has made it extremely clear that we will be unwavering in this expectation. We want every parent, when they drop off their students, whether it's an elementary school or one of our high schools, to know that this system has the best interest of my children at heart, and they're doing everything in their power in order to ensure that my child is safe, and they're going to empower them with the skills, the abilities, the behaviors, the knowledge to spend a lifetime finding success. And we need to continue to recruit and retain and incentivize high-quality teachers and staff to create the highest skilled workforce on the Treasure Coast. I cannot say it enough. Our teachers are absolutely miracle workers who go above and beyond, and they need to be compensated in a way that keeps them in our school system. They need to be acknowledged for their contributions to our community, and we need to continue to be aggressive in making sure that we're maximizing our dollars to provide additional incentives for our educators. When you look at the outcomes over the course of the last 4 years, we can say that we've made promises and we've kept those promises. We can show the academic outcomes over the course of the last 4 years, which becomes a validation. But if you look at 18-19, 53% of our schools, over 50%, were a grade of C. We've drastically reduced that, while at the same time obviously increasing the percent of A and B schools. So that is a clear sign that we're moving in the right direction, and we cannot wait to share the results for this upcoming school year, because we think we're going to be able to outpace even the numbers that we produced last school years. When you look at our third grade achievement, significantly outpacing the state by 12 percentage points, our growth of third graders from the time that they step into third grade, where only 20% are reading proficient, increasing by 43% over the course of that third grade year. Comparing us again to 18-19, we were 31 of 67, middle of the pack, to number 5 in the state of Florida. And compare it to surrounding counties, very little movement from where they were in 18-19 to where they are in last school year. We've improved 26 state rankings, which is absolutely pace-setting in terms of the work that we're doing around our third grade students scoring at 3 or above. When you look at some of our secondary success, also significant investments. In 18-19, when you look at middle school acceleration is providing opportunities for our middle school students to take accelerated coursework in middle school, specifically Algebra 1 and geometry. And you can see in 18-19, we were 56 of 67. That is pretty close to being at the absolute bottom, a number in 18-19 we all should have collectively been ashamed of. But you look at our reality today, we are number 3 in the state. 87% of our students who are eligible to participate in those courses not only take them, they pass them. That is absolutely outstanding transformation. When you put a high expectation in place, you provide the needed support, our students can in fact accelerate. And because of that drastic improvement, we're having to add even more rigorous courses, whether it is AP or dual enrollment in our college, in our in our high school settings because these students are getting access to these high school courses earlier, which means they're going to propel and accelerate even quicker and have the opportunity to take those courses while still in high school versus in college. When you look at high school graduation rate in 18-19, only 89%, which is 20th of the state. Now we are, once again, a state ranking of 96% graduation rate. So we've been able to, last year was 95, this year 96. Once again, continuing to grow and set high expectations. Our goal in every academic area is to continue to be in the top 10. When you look at where we were in 18-19, we were 38 of 67. That's where we started this presentation. And you look at the progress over the course of the last 4 years. Moving from 38 to 67, the simple reality is when you look at that growth from 18-19 to last school year, Indian River County is the most improved school district, not only on the Treasure Coast, but in the state of Florida. No one else has been able to pace that rate of growth over the course of the last 4 years. The reality is we're happy with that growth. We validate everyone's effort. We validate all of the support our community has provided to us, but 13th is not the goal. Our goal is to be number 1. We believe that we have the skills, we have the ability, we have the community in order to continue with this work moving forward. We would not ask for any additional funding in the upcoming millage that will go to our voters in November, but to continue what we've currently already have done. With the absolute promise, we will maximize every single dollar. Based on the last 4 years and this presentation that we have provided, it is clear we understand the contribution, and we will continue to do great things with our community by asking for no additional resources that we're already receiving, and we'll do better with those dollars than any other county in the state of Florida. Thank you.